And as of this morning, I did not receive any questions on homework. So that means everybody's doing good and nobody's got any questions. So I'm going to go ahead and start the review. And if you go down, you will see the test review. There it is. And you see when it's due. It's due on the 29th. So all of you people that are running around, when's the due date? When's the due date? When's the due date? There it is, right there. And your homework on chapter 6, I'm in chapter 3, is due tomorrow midnight. So let's look at the test. I'll go to the review. I will give y'all Monday to send in any questions that you have on homework, because I realize that this is a big section. You got 11 sections of homework. So I'm giving y'all till Monday to send them in. We'll go over any questions you got Monday. I know so you better work on them today so you can send them for Monday. Let me pull up the test. There it is. And preview. I'm just going to show you the test. Here's one that we did the other day. Y'all remember doing this one with the fisherman and changing the feet into inches? Yes or no? Y'all remember this one?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So you've got this in your notes. You see that I don't pull any punches. I do pretty much what I tell you I do on the test. Okay, did we do a cost? I think we did a cost, did we not?
Yeah, we did.
Average cost, marginal cost. There's the average cost, there's the marginal cost, and then plug and chug. So there's another question that I told you you would see. Find the derivative of the function by the quotient rule. And you don't even have to do it all the way. All you have to do is set it up. Quotient rule. Let's do that one. Let's do that one since it's nice and clean and easy to see. F of x, or y, is equal to x squared minus 3x plus 2 over x to the 7th minus 2. All right. Okay, so quotient rule says y prime is equal to denominator times numerator prime minus the numerator times the denominator prime all over the denominator squared. And that's going to be y prime is equal to x to the 7th minus 2. And the derivative of the numerator is 2x minus 3. Y'all check me. Minus the numerator And what is the derivative of x to the 7th minus 2?
Seven x to the 6th.
7x to the 6th. And now it's just a matter of you being able to do what?
Algebra.
Algebra. Good job. So I'll help you out. Y prime is equal to 2x to the 8th minus 3x to the 7th minus 4x plus 6 minus 7x to the 8th plus 21x to the 7th minus 14x to the 6th. Please check that because I skipped a couple of steps. X to the 7th minus 2 quantity squared. I'm going to leave that up for a couple of seconds so y'all can check me.
Oh, it's not working.
I'm sorry, say again. Did you say something, Miss Lang?
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to do that.
I know. Heaven forbid y'all communicate. Didn't mean to talk to me. That's all right. I'm used to it. I thought there for a moment y'all were going to communicate with me. Two x to the 8th minus 7x to the 8th is minus 5x to the 8th. Negative 3x to the 7th plus 21x to the 7th is 18x to the 7th. Minus 14x to the 6th minus 4x plus 6 over x to the 7th minus 2 squared. And that may be the answer. Let's see. Let's look back at the test. And 5x to the 8th, 5x to the 8th, 18x to the 7th, 18x to the 7th. So you annihilated this one. 14x to the 6th, 14x to the 6th, negative 14x to the 6th, minus 4x, plus 6. So it looks like it's between B and D, but I believe it's going to be D as in delta because of that 19. Yay! All right, let's look at another question. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I put one of those on there. Maybe I need to go and take those off.
No, you don't have to do that.
Oh, y'all communicate now. So what is the derivative of 2t squared plus 3t? How about 4t squared plus 4t plus 3? How about that? Beta, bravo. All right, implicit differentiation. 2xy minus y squared equals 1. Now remember, Implicit differentiation is used when you have more than one variable to take the derivative of, or you don't have a variable equal to isolated. So you would use implicit differentiation right here. You got to use product rule right here because that's the times right here. So I'm going to write this 2x times y minus y squared equals 1. So first, times the derivative of the second plus the second times the derivative of the first, and that is the product rule for the 2xy. And we got to take the derivatives. We're going to do that in just a second. Minus, somebody tell me what the derivative of y squared is.
2y.
And you need to put dy dx with it, or y prime. I'm using dy dx a little bit more since we've gone over rate of change and related rates. So maybe it'll kind of tie that in, equal to 0. And this is going to be 2x. And what's the derivative of y?
1.
Y prime.
1 dy dx
Oh.
plus y times 2. And you can write everything else out now. Minus 2 dy dx. So everything goes back to black now. That's 2x dy dx plus 2y minus 2 dy dx. And now what? Now we got to get all the non-dy dx's on one side, Hubert, and all the dy dx's on one side. That's right, class. So 2x dy dx minus 2 dy dx is equal to negative 2y. And I'm going to go to the next page. I'm going to slide this up for you. There we go. So I can factor out a dy dx. 2x minus 2 equals negative 2y. And the derivative of y with respect to x is equal to negative 2y divided by 2x minus 2. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get everything on the page. There we go. All righty. So let's see what negative 2y over 2x minus 2 does for the answer. Oh, we didn't factor out. I'm sorry. You can factor out. Let me go back. You can factor out a 2. Let's just take the red pen. Let's just cancel. We don't have to write anymore. There you go. So negative y over x minus 1. Negative y over x minus 1. I don't see x minus 1. Did I make a mistake? Oh, yeah, I did. 2y. The derivative of y squared is not 2. It's 2y. I was so focused on the dy dx, I forgot to write it. So, sorry. So that 2y goes there, there, and there. Sorry about that. Up here, when I took the derivative of 2y, I did 2, but I forgot to put the y because I was worried about writing that down. So I forgot the y, so my bad. It doesn't count as a mistake if I see it. So let's go with x minus y. X minus y, so it's either alpha or delta. And we've got, well, we got a negative up top. Why they don't have a negative? Where did I screw that up to? Yeah, when you bring 2y over, it becomes positive, dork. Sorry about that. No, that's a negative. That's a negative. 2y comes over, that becomes a negative 2y. They might have factored out a negative and got negative, that's what they probably did, and got positive y over y. Yeah, that's what they factored. They factored out a negative. And if you factor out a negative, that would be y minus x on the bottom. So that would be 2 over y minus x. There it is. So it should be Charlie. They factored out a negative on top and bottom. So just to show you what they did right here, they factored out a negative 1, negative 1. That leaves you with y over negative x plus y. All right. Next question. Natural log, that was pretty simple. 1 over x squared plus 6. And then what's the derivative of x squared plus 6?
2x.
2x. So it'd be 2x over x squared plus 6. All right, try that one. This one says f of x is equal to the cosine of x. Then what is the value when you plug in pi over 2 into f prime. So you got to take the derivative and then plug in pi over 2. So do that right quick. Dang old rough having class at lunchtime. Have to eat something. Dang old eggs and grits. Dang old my cousin Vinny. That's one of my favorite movies, although it has nothing to do with Marissa Tomei being in there. One of my favorite movies. Of course, y'all probably have never seen it because it's not animated, and it doesn't have to do with Marvel Comics or DC Comics, so y'all probably are not aware of my cousin Vinny. All right, what is the derivative of cosine? Derivative of cosine is negative sine, Hubert. So f prime of x is equal to the negative sine of x. F of negative pi over 2 is equal to negative sine of pi over 2. And what is the y coordinate of 90 degrees?
1.
Good job. You're a winner.
Would it be -1 though?
Yes, because there's a negative out front. Thank you. So your answer would be -1. You think you're smart, don't you, Mr. Piello? That's all right. -1. Good job. All right, next one. Oh my gosh, you've got to be kidding me.
Wait, Hubert, what was the answer to the last one?
Huh?
What was the answer to the last one?
The answer to the last one was -1.
Okay, thank you.
Did you get it?
Yeah.
Okay. And I should take this one off the test. If you miss this one, I hope you don't tell anybody.
I'll take the janitor's closet.
Yeah. No, janitor's closet is for those people that don't communicate. Hold on just a second. Work on that. I've got to answer this. Sorry about that. When my sister calls, it's usually something's up because she don't call me, especially in the morning because she knows, or, during the day because I got classes. And she was a teacher. She retired. So she never calls, during working hours. All right. So that's going to be, 140 T. So you shouldn't miss that one. So that's 2 on the test that you shouldn't miss. One was that one that it was just 2 derivatives. You take 2 derivatives in this one. So everybody should make a 10 on this test at least. Everybody should make a 10. Next, implicit differentiation. Cosine of y plus sine of x is equal to y. Cosine of y plus the sine of x is equal to y. All right, I'm going to give y'all a second to do that. So, what is the derivative of the cosine? Negative sine, Hubert. That's right, class. And what is the derivative of y? 1, but that is dy dx. And somebody, what is the derivative of the sine? Derivative of sine is cosine of x times 1, because you got to take the derivative of what's inside. And we did that right here, right there. Equals, what's the derivative of y? 1 dy dx. So now you just have to what? Get everything on one side. So negative sine y dy dx minus dy dx. I'm going to put a 1 right there so you know it came from here over here, is equal to negative cosine of x. Factor out dy dx. And that'll give us negative sine of y minus 1 divide by negative sine of y minus 1 divide by negative sine of y minus 1. Now you could factor out a negative 1 over a negative 1, and that would be cosine of x over sine of y plus 1. So let's see what they got. I'm going to go with the factoring out of negative 1. And that will give me cosine of x over sine of y plus 1. And we feel good about ourselves. Next, evaluate the derivative of the function below using a limit definition. Okay, this is where you have to do difference quotient. Now, of course, you don't have to, because I'm not checking your work. You could just do the derivative, but I'm going to be honest and I'm going to do what the directions tell me to do. So limit as h approaches 0 of f of x plus h minus f of x over h. And f of x is equal to x squared minus 6x minus 3. So that means I've got to write f of x plus h, and write that in green, and minus f of x in orange. So I got to write a big set of parentheses. Parentheses squared minus 6 parentheses minus 3 minus x squared minus 6x minus 3, all that over h. And what am I going to plug into the parentheses? X plus h. And that's going to leave us with x squared plus 2xh plus h squared minus 6x minus 6h minus 3 minus x squared plus 6x plus 3 all over h. What happens to our x squareds? They cancel, Hubert. What about our 6x's? They cancel. 3's. Factor out of h. 2x plus h minus 6 over h. They cancel. And then limit as h approaches 0 of 2x plus h minus 6. And what does the 0 do to the h term? So your final answer is 2x minus 6. And what is the derivative of x squared minus 6x minus 3?
2x minus 6.
There you go. Now see, you could have been less than, I don't know, less than truthful, and you could have just took the derivative. But just remember, in some tests, they might ask you to do the whole thing. So 2x minus 6. 2x minus 6. Next. All right, do this one. Now this is one that we can do for a homework question today, because it's out of 3.10. See if I got one like this, because I wrote down a bunch of homework questions. I don't think I did. Inverse sine. No, I don't see an inverse sine. Now, I also need to tell y'all this. The 140-003 class, they communicate with me and they send me questions. So I'll be going over a lot of 3.10 questions in the next class. So if you want to watch that video today, you can watch it. Just look out for it. I'll put it up today. But I'll also go over the test too real quickly with them. But they actually send me questions. Y'all don't. So let's write down, what is the derivative of the sine, the inverse sine? The derivative of the inverse sine is equal to 1 over the square root of 1 minus x squared, and that's for x cannot equal positive or negative 1, because you can't have 0 in the denominator. Okay, so x cannot equal positive or negative 1, because that would give you 0 in the denominator. So now that we got that done, let's go back. Now that point, that's just something separate right now. So just put that point over here as given, negative square root of 3, 2 comma negative pi over 3. Okay, that's our point that we might need to find whatever we might need to find. So the function is y is equal to the inverse sine of x. So that means that x is in the x spot. So we put a parenthesis around that x. So that means that our function is going to be 1 over 1 minus x squared, square root. And they want us to plug in a point to get our slope. So y prime, which is equal to the slope equation, is equal to 1 over square root of 1 minus parentheses squared. X is in parentheses, so we put that there, and of course we get that right there. So there's not really anything detrimental we did. And I need to find my slope. So 1 over the square root of 1 minus negative square root of 3 over 2 squared. And m is equal to 1 over the square root of 1 minus, well, what is the square root of 3? Well, negative times negative is positive, so the answer is going to be positive inside the parentheses. What happens to the radical when you square it?
It cancels.
And you get 3. And 2 is 4. And that's equal 1 over the square root of 1/4, which is 1 divided by 1/2, which is what? So I've got a slope of 2 and a point here. So what do you think I'm going to use? The point what?
Point
That
slope.
means I want y'all to say something.
Point slope.
Equation. Y minus y sub 1 is equal to m times x minus x sub 1. And my point is negative square root of 3 over 2, negative pi over 3. And my slope is equal to 2. Did y'all check my math? Did y'all get 2 on the slope?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Thank you, one person out of 21 people. Thank you for speaking. Thank you. Y minus negative pi over 3 is equal to 2 times x minus negative square root of 3 over 2. Now it's just simplify. y plus pi over 3 equals 2 times x plus square root of 3 over 2. Y plus pi over 3 equal to 2x plus square root of 3. Y is equal to 2x plus square root of 3 minus pi over 3. And I don't know if they want you to put this in your calculator or not. Chances are they don't, because they want an exact answer. So let's see what they got for an answer. I'm going to go with y is equal to, oh, the slope of the curve is all they want. I'm sorry. 2. Thought they wanted the equation.
I have a question about that problem.
Yeah, they just want the slope. But yeah, what's the question?
How are you supposed to calculate it without finding the derivative of the inverse sine?
I did find the derivative.
Yeah, but in the problem it says find the slope of the curve without calculating the
I'm
derivative.
not going through that. I'm not doing that because that's ridiculous. You have to actually, I'll show you right quick. Let me see if I can find the homework question that I got doing that. Give me a second. Here it is. Okay, this question right here, I'm going to show you how they do it without the slope, and without the derivative, and I don't teach it because it's like the difference quotient. Now that you know the difference quotient, you're never going to use the difference quotient. So once you learn how to use the inverse trig function, you're not going to use this. So anyway, I've got the, let's see, what does the question say? The question says y is equal to the inverse cosine of x at 0, pi over 12. And they want you to find it without using derivatives. And this is what you're supposed to do. Wait a minute. I may have the wrong. Wait a minute. It's not the right point. That's not the right point. The point is negative square root of 2 over 2 and 3 pi over 4. I wrote down the wrong problem. Okay? And without the derivative, you're supposed to, you know that f, since this is the function right here, that's the function. You know that with this given, that when you plug in f of 3 pi over 4, f of 3 pi over 4, because it's the inverse, you're going to get negative square root of 2 over 2, because it's the inverse. All right? So f of negative 1 of negative square root of 2 over 2 is equal to 3 pi over 4. And f prime of x is equal to the sine of x, negative sine of x. The derivative of cosine is a negative sine. And now you plug those numbers in. F prime of 3 pi over 4 is equal to negative square root of 2 over 2, which is equal to negative 1 over the square root of 2. And g of x, which is the inverse cosine, we'll plug that in. G prime of square root of 2 over 2 is equal to 1 over f prime of f inverse of square root of 2 over 2, which is equal to 1 over f prime of 3 pi over 4, which is equal to negative square root of 2. Now you see why I don't even show it. But you end up, what
Yeah,
did
that's
you
a
do right
lot.
here? What is the derivative of the cosine? The negative sign. So did you take a derivative? Yes. So one reason I don't show it is it's complicated. The other reason I don't show it is because the directions say don't use the derivative, but what did I do right here? What's the derivative of the cosine? The negative sign. So I took the derivative. So that's how you do it if you did it without the derivative. But I don't, I tell my students just do the derivative. Do this right here, Mr. Pangella. I want you to do this, okay? All right, let's do another test question. You know how I teach. I don't teach how many people attended Wimbledon and what were their addresses. I don't teach that stuff. All right, I'm not going to go through this. We've already went through one of these. This is your difference quotient, and we did 2 or 3 of these in the homework. So I'm going to move on to another derivative problem. Okay, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is on the test. Okay, there's 3. This is 3 problems you should not get wrong. This is the 3rd one that you should not get wrong because it's pretty straightforward. Y is equal to 4x plus 5 cosine of x. Y prime, what's the derivative of 4x?
4.
And 5, what's the derivative of the cosine?
Negative sign.
And that negative can come out here, and it should be 4 minus 5 sine of x. Yeah, I think after class, I'll go back and take some of these out. There's no need of putting those little ones in there. We'll take those out. 4 minus 5 sine x. Next. Oh my gosh. 5x to the 4th. That's how many? 4? That's 4 problems that you shouldn't miss. Okay, that one will give you a run for your money. Why? Because you got to remember the chain rule. That's why. You'd be surprised on how many people miss this one. And if I put a negative in front of that 6x, half people won't even try it. In fact, let's do 2. Let's do f of x is equal to 12 e to the 6x. And let's go over here and do f of x is equal to, I'll just make up one, 10 e to the negative 4x. So I got 2 questions here. One, you look at it with a face and try it. The next one, you skip it altogether because it's got a negative 4x. You do them both the same way. You pull that 12 out and not even to feel fool with it. F prime of x is equal to 12, and just worry about e to the 6x. Now, what's the derivative on e to the power? What's the derivative of e to the power?
E to the power.
E to the power. But we're going to take our handy dandy. We've got something other than x in the parentheses. So we've got to multiply using the chain rule. So 12, the derivative of e to the x is e to the x. But we've got parentheses, and there's something there besides a x. So we've got to take the derivative of 6x, which is
6.
And now your answer is 72 e to the 6x. All right, now you do the one on the right. All right, so f prime of x, 10 e to the negative 4x, and that e to the negative 4x, there's parentheses right here, and somebody tell me what the derivative of negative 4x is.
Negative 4.
So therefore, your final answer is f prime of x is equal to negative 40 e to the negative 4x. If I put this on a test with 30 people, I'll have 5 to 10 miss or skip this problem because of that negative. And I guarantee you, there's somebody in here that's taken Calc 1 before, and when it came to e to the x, they never could get it right because they couldn't remember the chain rule. Hopefully now you remember the chain rule, and you remember that guy got to do it. Next test question. I gave you a freebie in there with that e to the negative. What do we get? 72e to the 6x. 72e shift up 6x. Next. All right, try that one. I would rewrite a lot of stuff before I'd even start. That's why I put this question on there. Some people would look at that question and they'd start doing algebra and they shouldn't do anything until they rewrite it. Mr. Smith, we're going to start you a GoFundMe page to fix your ceiling so you can have pretty ceiling like everybody else. See everybody showing off their ceilings?
Yeah, we do need to get it finished.
You know how many cellars or basements look like that, Mr. Smith?
Probably
A
quite
lot. A lot of them. That is a cellar, isn't it? Or is that an attic?
No, it's just a basement.
Okay. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite this guy. Y is equal to x to the negative 1 plus 1 times, excuse me, x minus x to the negative 1 plus 1. Is that what y'all did?
Yes, sir.
That's what I would do. Y prime is equal to first times the derivative of the second hold on just a second. Plus the second times the derivative of the first. So y prime is equal to x to the negative 1 plus 1. What is the derivative of x?
1.
1.
1.
And then this is going to be positive 1x to the negative what? To the negative 2 plus 0 plus x minus x to the negative 1 plus 1 and negative 1x to the negative 2 plus 1. Y'all check me. So to clean everything up, y prime is equal to x to the negative 1 plus 1 times 1 plus 1, or x to the negative 2 plus x minus x to the negative 1 plus 1 times negative 1x to the negative 2 plus 1. Now, I would go ahead and do the FOIL method here and the distributive law here, so you could maybe cancel some things out. So y prime x to the negative 1 times 1 is x to the negative 1. Outside is x to the negative 3. Inside would be 1. And last would be x to the negative 2. Plus, I'm going to have to do this, and let's see if I can do it. I'm going to put it in brackets so I don't mess up. Negative 1x squared, or x to the negative 2, this is a 1. So what do you get? You get negative x to the negative 1, right?
Yep. From what I can see.
Positive 1, y'all check me here. Positive 1 x to the negative 3.
Yep.
Minus 1 x to the negative 2. And then this positive 1, you just rewrite all this. Plus x minus x to the negative 1 plus 1. Y to the prime is equal to x to the negative 1 plus x to the negative 3 plus 1 plus x to the negative 2 minus x to the negative 1 plus x to the negative 3 minus x to the negative 2 plus x minus x to the negative 1 plus 1. All right. Well, you pretty much, let's see, I've got a x to the negative 1 right here, and an x to the negative 1 right here, and an x to the negative 1 right here. Y'all see any others? And of course, these two cancel. You're left with negative x to the negative 1.
Mr. Hubert,
Yes.
I think you're gonna be mad at me, but I just noticed it, when you, like at the very top, it's x, or like x to the negative 1 plus 1, and you took the derivative of x to the negative 1 plus x.
Okay, wait a minute. You talking about up here at the top?
Yeah, like over to the
great.
right, like that one.
Okay, negative 1, x to the negative 2 plus
And like
1.
the problem was x to the negative 1 plus 1. You see what I'm saying?
Did I write the problem down wrong?
No, I think you wrote the problem down right. You took the derivative of the wrong thing, I think.
X minus x to the negative 1 plus 1. Okay, let me find where you're talking about. Okay.
Are you talking about the second part in the green?
Yeah, the second part in the green, like that one, that should be the derivative of x to the negative 1 plus 1, shouldn't it?
Yeah. First times the derivative of the second plus the second times the derivative of the first.
Mm-hmm.
So it should be just x to the negative 1.
Yes, sir. I didn't notice it until just now because I saw like you wrote all that stuff again and I got confused.
Okay, so we just got to take off that 1, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's check it. And we got to take off, well, all we're going to do right here is going to be negative x to the negative 1, x to the negative 3, 9 minus x, and all this goes away.
Mm-hmm.
And all this goes away. All right, we're still okay. I think we're okay. Thank you for telling me.
Yes,
20
sir.
minutes late, but thank you for
I
telling
didn't see
me.
it till then.
I know. I appreciate it. I'm just kidding. All right, so, well, that takes care of that. So the x to the negative 1s cancel. All right, the x to the negative 3s cancel. That's a good sign. And x to the negative 2s cancel. And it looks like the
I don't think the
derivative
x
is
to the negative
1.
3s cancel because they're both adding.
What?
The x to the negative 3s, they're both positive. So
Okay.
it'd be 2x to the negative 3.
I just got carried away. So that's 2x to the negative 3
Yes, sir.
plus 1. Is that what you got?
Yes, sir.
Let's see if that's the answer. Sorry about that.
You're right.
Let's see what they got. If I could get to the question. 2x to the negative 3, which is 2 over x to the 3rd, plus 1. Thank you. All right, find the following derivative.
It's past our time.
Oh my gosh, it has. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm just going to let y'all write these down. The natural log of sine of x, 4x to the 4th times the natural log of x, that's the product rule. And this one right here, this one, don't forget the chain rule. This one right here, 4x to the 4th, that's the product rule times natural log of x. And this is the tangent. That would be secant squared. And that's y prime, that's one of those easy ones. 2x minus 1, and then you find the slope, and then you find the equation. All right, so you've got until Monday to ask questions on your homework, and you have until Tuesday to finish your test, I think, right? Something like that.
It has the homework due for tomorrow.
I mean, yeah, but you can send me questions. I'm going to go over questions that anybody sends me in the next 24 hours. I'm going to go over those Monday. Okay? All right. Y'all have a good day, and I'll see y'all Monday. Have a good weekend.
You too.
See
Thank
ya.
you.
Thank you.